This video was originally broadcast live on Twitch during Decaf Jedi's first year as a streamer. Expect janky video, questionable audio, and the usual poor gameplay. Enjoy!
Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to stream a little Stair Quest tonight. Thanks for swinging by. For those of you who don't know, Stair Quest is a game that me and a bunch of friends of mine created back in 2016 originally for Adventure Jam. It was a game developed over a couple of weeks. This is version 2.0, which adds a few extra levels. Essentially, what Stair Quest is all about is an homage, sort of a love letter to the early King's Quest games. Specifically, it takes out all the charming fairy tale stuff. I guess it keeps a little bit of it in, but mostly focuses on those incredibly frustrating segments from the early King's Quest games where you were tasked with climbing winding staircases that usually resulted in King Graham falling to his death. These staircases appeared in a few other Sierra games here and there as well. So this was sort of my concept of taking, in a lot of ways, maybe the worst part of those early games and choosing to recreate that as a game all unto itself. And that became Stair Quest. So let's get started. This game is built to be as frustrating as possible from the ground up in a lot of ways. So we'll see how far I can get into it before I start getting so angry at my own game that I rage quit both the game and the stream. I have a feeling it will begin on the third level. We'll see. A little bit of backstory. The realm of Castle's Wood is in despair, as famine, war, disease, and natural disaster wreak havoc upon the land. Good King Jonathan seeks the counsel of a wise old soothsayer. Seek ye out the Orb of Stars, she tells King Jonathan. Says the king, the Orb of Stars is but a legend. The soothsayer replies with a sly grin, even in legend may one find the truth, my lord. So King Jonathan dispatches his bravest knight, Sir Devon, to quest for the fabled Orb of Stars. Little does he know that his own daughter, Princess Ingrid, has also set out in search of the legendary relic. Some of these names have meaning. I grew up in a town called Castlewood. The realm is called Castle's Wood. My best friend growing up, who I played Sierra Adventure games with, was named Jonathan. And in turn, we have Good King Jonathan as the king of this realm. Sir Devon. I have a nephew named Devon, a nephew who hopes to someday grow up and be a game designer himself. So yeah, there's some personal touches in here that are kind of references that probably only really matter to me, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Have a couple of characters to choose from. We have Princess Ingrid, her special abilities, archery, and noblesse oblige. That's a joke that I really liked that I don't think anyone who's ever played the game has necessarily gotten or cared for or thought was funny. I thought it was kind of a good gag. Sir Devon has a bonus with edged weapons and the special talent of chivalry. Neither of these characters' talents do anything in the game. They are simply interchangeable with one another, but I'm going to play as Princess Ingrid, and we will begin with our first level of Stair Quest. As you can see here, our programmers, PC Johnson, did a lot of the work there. Our artists, Kevin Wallace, Chris Ushko, really managed to mimic a lot of the AGI style that you would see in early Sierra games. So we were going for that King's Quest look, from the color palette to the interface to the text boxes on screen. They were able to capture a lot of that pretty well. So you can see, good luck on your quest to retrieve the Orb of Stars. We move with the cursor keys. We hit numlock here, we can get some Alright, first death while I was demoing how the controls look. Great start. Alright, so every time you die, it shows our logo, No More For Today Productions, and dumps you back out to the title screen where you can either continue if you'd saved a game. I failed to, so we start a new game. Skip that, skip that. Okay, we're back where we left off. Let's try this again. So, we move, we can use diagonally the numpad to head upward, And like all of Sierra's older games, we have a text interface, so we can tap look. Standing on a rocky path, rivulets of fiery lava course around you. Who built these stairs? Why? Perhaps ritual sacrifice. You can look at lava. Rivers of lava flow around you. I think you can drink lava. Hey everybody, come watch. This one wants to drink some lava. Most of the writing on this game was done by myself, Gareth Millward, Trolls Climber. You get sort of a mix of all three of our senses of humor. I'm gonna guess that was probably Trolls if I had to take a wild guess, but some of these it's a little hard to sort out. A Van Halen reference, that must be me. Alright, let's head upward and see what we can see. So each level is essentially this. We have a series of stairs, we climb them, we get a brief cutscene. She's going to prove that she's the equal of any man in the realm. Okay, so now we are on a blue mountain. The shadows of night blanket the mountainside. Flickering torches illuminate your path. An engraved silver plaque mounted into the stone wall. Eat torch. Nothing tastes as good as climbing stairs fills. We tried to build as robust of a parser as we could here. Some of these messages are somewhat generic. That's basically what the game says. If you try to taste anything or eat anything that it doesn't recognize off the bat. Torch. Alright, providing a guiding light to the entrances and exits from the Blue Mountain. Let's head upward. Maybe a good time to save. Oh, I already have some saves in here. Hey, very creative save game name. This plaque confused, I noticed, a lot of Let's Players. Let's read it. It says short line, longer line, two shorter lines, longer line, and three longer lines. And it's signed by Ken Williams, CEO and co-founder of Sierra Online. I've seen people speculate that maybe this was Morse code or something like that, but short line, longer line is literally just a description of what it looks like in low resolution EGA graphics. It's a short line, it's a longer line, it's an even longer line than that. It's a pretty lame meta joke that nobody seems to have gotten. So that's the best kind of joke, right? Meta and understood by very few. The orb beckons to Princess Ingrid. So, one of the things we talked about early on, we built these levels. Called this one the Gem Cavern. When we built these levels, we talked about the idea of ramping up the difficulty. Like, how do we want to ease the player into this? And we thought, of course, the obvious answer is, well, you could start easy and steadily get harder and harder as the game progresses. We decided that it would be more frustrating, which again was one of our big goals in this game, was to frustrate players. If after two really easy screens, all of a sudden things got incredibly difficult. The Gem Cavern here is probably the hardest level in the entire game, maybe with the exception of one that comes a little bit later. So this is probably a good time to start thinking about turning down the speed. Go to slow. There's some special things in here too. Like a lot of old Sierra games, we have a boss key. It's mapped to F13, which is great since keyboards tend not to have an F13 key. But you press it and it brings up a spreadsheet with stair-related data in it. What else do we have in here? Yeah, some credits. That's not a bad idea. Do the credits not work? Oh, here they come. Oh yeah, we put in slow mode. We don't want to see who worked on this that badly. Trust me when I say they were all very talented and deserve their due, but not that slow pace. So we're going to creep through here. As you can see, this path is incredibly narrow. Some of the pixels are maybe not quite as pixel perfect as you would hope. And as a result, it's easy to fall off here when you think you're on the right path. Let's keep going. Testing this game was a frustration because this level oftentimes would take quite a while for us to get through, and for whatever reason, we never bothered to build in a proper debug mode that would allow us simply to warp to a room and test it. So every time we had a new build, we had to play from the beginning, and that meant defeating the gem cavern once again. This is what I would call a pretty good gem cavern run for me. Normally, I've fallen several times by now. I think this first landing is the challenging part. Once you get here, the rest of the level isn't quite so bad. Let's get here to a safe spot. It's probably a good time to look at the gems. Yellow spinel. It's part of the magnesium aluminum family of the larger spinel group of minerals. You have the formula there. You have its Latin derivation. Just some fun filler text. Precious gems line the walls. Corpses of failed adventurers sit at the foot of the ravine. Look at corpses. I don't think there's a message. Nope, there they are. They lie below, motionless on the ground, as corpses are known to do. That's true. Let's see if we can crank this bad boy up to normal and make it the rest of the way without dying a horrible death. Whoa, that's a little close. Ooh, that may be the first time I've ever made it to the top of this level on the first attempt. So many stairs. What does it mean? Am I being tested by someone, something? This level is called Brown Mountain. As you can see, we are a very creative bunch. Lovely view of the ocean. Up in the distance, you see a fisherman standing on the bow of his ship and relieving himself. Lovely. Oops. Accidentally tried to walk diagonally up the stairs. Triggered a message there for trying to go down back to the previous level. There's only up, there is no down. At least not yet. This level in particular was inspired by King's Quest III. If you played that when you're coming down from the wizard's house in King's Quest III, you have a mountainous trail that you have to work your way down. As part of that, there's some rocks you have to walk behind that obscure your view, making it a little trickier. This level is also one that we changed for the special edition. You'll get to see that change in just a moment. That was it. Originally, that boulder did not fall from the sky as you walked past this section. We added that to spice up this level a little bit, put in a little surprise. Also, it just seemed so incredibly unfair that it was very much in the spirit of older Sierra games. Let's head on up. We have some terrific music in these levels by Frederick Olson. He really did some beautiful work here. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Okay. You're walking along the parapet of an ancient fortress. The color scheme looks straight out of the Black Cauldron. In case you're wondering what inspired this level, it was very much meant to be an homage to the Black Cauldron, another early Sierra game. The cloud in particular references some clouds and some scenes there. Yeah, this is definitely trying to clue people into a maybe a little bit more obscure early Sierra game. Look at Tower. I'm kind of ashamed that that joke is in here. At the same time, it's pretty funny and unexpected. Wall. Stone walls are smooth and crafted with artisanal attention to detail. Someone took great care in giving these beautiful, elaborate stairs a family stunning home. It was fun just writing ridiculous descriptions like that for things that maybe you didn't need descriptions that badly. This level has a few tricky little spots. So far, this is a decent run. Oh! Spoke too soon. There's a death. Okay, let's try that again. We go back out to the title screen. Let's continue. Go back to the tower. Alright. Still calm. Pulse rate doing okay. Let's try it again. Okay, made the first turn. Stop there. Little things like having to retype the save game name. Again, stuff that was largely included to make the game more frustrating than it needed to be. Dumping you out to the title screen after each death, there to make the game more frustrating than it needs to be. This owl staring at you with judgmental eyes, there to make the game more frustrating than it necessarily needs to be. Here, yet another attempt to make the game frustrating. What could have been a set of stairs that would work diagonally at a 45-degree angle, we offset them just enough so that players couldn't use the 9 key on their numpad to go up them easily. So instead, they're slightly off. Let's see if I can do this on normal before we... yeah, might slow that down. Oh, but now it's so slow. The reason I'm streaming this tonight, I don't think I mentioned at the top of the show, was we just released an updated Macintosh version of Mac OS version of Stair Quest today, thanks to the hard work of Eden Waith, who is currently hanging out in the chat room watching the stream. Thanks a bunch. I knew that our Mac version had been sort of DOA for a little while there as Mac OS moved into new versions. So it's been great knowing that it's more playable by more people once again. Okay. All the way at the top. Here's another frustration. If you die in slow mode, you slowly fall to your death. Let's try this again. Not bad. You might notice the score, 4 out of 500. You earn 1 point for every level. We want players to wonder if there might be 500 levels in this game. There are quite a few less than that. But we at least wanted to raise that question in players' minds. Stairs, stairs, stairs. Say the word enough times, it hardly sounds like a word anymore. Stairs, stairs, stairs. Okay, this is one of the levels that was added for the new version. This is, I think we called this the cat level, if I recall correctly, during our internal development. You might remember in King's Quest 3, there's an annoying black cat that lives at Manannan's house. If you're walking on the stairs and accidentally move too close to the cat, Alexander trips and falls horribly to his death. I came up with the idea, it's like, why don't we have a level with some cats in it? If you trip over them, you die. And the artist came back with a level with lots of cats. We have, look at lion. Don't do anything with the lion except walk around it. It's a lion. I think we have Garfield there, right? I hate Mondays. Classic Jim Davis humor. We include a unicorn in this scene for some reason with white and purple coloration there near the top of the staircase. Ingrid's certain that it's maybe just an exotic breed of cat. I guess that might be rarity, if I know my ponies correctly, or at least it's closest to that. Let's see what we can do. So the goal here is basically it's a maze. You're trying to make it to the top without getting too close to any of the cats. And like a classic Sierra game, sometimes the pixels don't quite line up with where you expect them to be, so it's a little trickier than it could be. Oh, Kit Kat. Your callousness gets the better of you. You swing a foot in the direction of the nearest cat, but the cat dexterously skirts off to the side, causing you to miss entirely, lose your balance, and fall flat on your ass. You get up, brush off your pants, and feel embarrassed that you have been outmaneuvered by a little kitty cat. Good. No one should kick cats. I didn't know that message was in there. Look at eyes. Ever get the feline you're being watched? Oh my god, that's a terrible joke. I love it. Okay, that's the hard turn there. From here, it's usually pretty smooth sailing. Go past the unicorn. Alright. The air thins, my legs burn. Yet I continue for my king. We called this level H.R. Geiger. Or Giger? How is that pronounced? The artist, of course, that inspired a lot of the visual language of the xenomorphs and Alien. We were just trying to think of something creepy. This is supposed to be desert. I know some people have read it instead as sort of yellow water. It's best not to think about that. There's some surprises that pop up occasionally from the sand. Oh no! A pretty good run there. Oops. There we go. Let's try this again. Again, obstructed view, something to make this a little more challenging than it could be otherwise. We were kind of trying to go for a snake vibe here. Probably a good place to save. At least you feel almost dizzy. Dizzy with anticipation? What lies beyond this architectural madness? You must find out. Well, death. Death is what lies ahead and beyond. Oh, there's one of the alligators from Pitfall. And some creepy eye. Confound these infernal stairs. For every one I ascend, 1,000 more vex me. That's a reference I threw into a comic book where Squirrel Girl fights Dr. Doom, and I think he uses a line very similar to that in reference to squirrels at one point. So I stole it. This level appeared in the original game. We added some rainfall to it with some great effects there. You can see it sort of splashing off the stone of this statue carved into the side of a mountain. You stand atop the eternal giant. Drops of rain dance off its chiseled features. You remember reading stories about this colossal statue as a child. It was one of 7 gargantuan monuments spread across the realm, left behind by an ancient race whose origins remain shrouded in mystery. I really liked the idea of just creating this ridiculous lore that wouldn't be followed up on in any way. Again, all you have to do in this game is climb a bunch of stairs, but why not have fun with it at the same time? This level itself is a little bit of a troll, in the sense that you have this whole path over here that leads to nothing. There's no purpose in going over there. You can climb to the top, but there's nothing to see there, nothing to do. This is one of the easiest levels in the game. You literally just go up the right side and exit. We put that there just to make people wonder. I think we released a screenshot at one point that showed Ingrid standing over here at the top of the left hand of the giant, and with the message down here like open secret passage, to make people wonder if there was some sort of Easter egg hidden there. But no, this was always just a level that we thought looked cool and didn't necessarily need to be difficult. We wouldn't do something cruel like make the steps slippery. That would be too frustrating. Alright, easy. Here we go, llama time. You're 90% sure that's a llama, but there's always a slight chance it could be an alpaca. This is one of my biggest regrets. I wish when you said look at alpaca, it said you're 90% sure that's an alpaca, but there's always a chance it could be a llama. We really dropped the ball on that one. I think this is one of my more favorite references in here. Kill llama. Chill out, Yzma. You know Yzma, the villain from Emperor's New Groove. She tried to kill the Emperor, who was transformed into a llama. Oh, never mind. I like the Emperor's New Groove. Thought I'd throw that in there. That llama is adorable. It's one of the cutest creatures to ever grace an AGI game. So expressive. I would play an entire game just about that llama. It's another relatively easy level. Like I said, the hardest ones, for the most part, are early in the game, just to create that difficulty curve that makes no sense. Try to frustrate the player. That was our goal kind of at every step. Step by step, I've come closer to reaching the top. Every step must be placed so I don't fall off. Those are actually lyrics from a No Doubt song called The Climb. I just put them in here because I thought it'd be funny. I don't think anyone's ever picked up on that reference, but yeah, that's a strange No Doubt shout out. Thanks, Gwen Stefani, for letting me steal your lyrics. Now that I've broadcast this on Twitch, I will probably receive a cease and desist before I can get to the end of the game. I think we called this one Mixed Up Mansion. This was inspired a little bit by the room at the end of Hero's Quest when you're in the bandits' hideout and you're dealing with the gnome magician, and he has sort of the topsy-turvy MC Escher style room. That's what we were going for here. It's actually a pretty simple room. You see we go in one door and exit another. As long as you keep going straight ahead, you eventually get to the end. There's no puzzle, there's no backtracking, there's no certain order you have to do stuff in. Just as long as you're always going up the stairs, or straight ahead rather, you end up at the end of the level eventually. No problem. Pretty easy level. Okay, here's where things get really interesting. So this level was added when we created the special edition. It was something that we were looking for a special treat for players. Ice-covered landscape, a sinister air hanging above this ominous place. The rock outcroppings above your head eerily remind you of a skull. Can't possibly be, though, can it? Okay, let's go. Okay, this is where we decided to get really jerky. We made the path slippery. So here, when you stop, your character slides forward a little bit, making all of that inching around the map or around the level that much more challenging. As long as you keep moving, you don't slide, But if you try to stop, you slide ahead. So that's bad. That makes this level more difficult. But that wasn't good enough for us. Again, we're trying to frustrate players. So why not? There we go. We bring in a Yeti. We bring in a Yeti, not unlike the one that shows up in King's Quest 3. Not unlike the one that later shows up in King's Quest 5 also. There's lots of Yetis in there. So he's going to chase us. If he catches us, we die. If we slip off the edge of the path, we die. So not only do we have the slippery element, now we're having to worry about a timer. This was us really ramping up the difficulty, trying to create a engaging gameplay experience. So let's see, that triggers the Yeti. You can actually sort of cheat this level a little bit by Tokyo drifting. It speeds you up a little, so if you can do it successfully, you can easily beat the Yeti at the end. Heavy panting. That was actually a pretty good Yeti run. Oh, and here we are at the end, the Orb of Stars. If you'll remember, that's what we set out to find at the beginning of the game. We have this lovely CGA palette. There's a joke here I like in the description. Only 4 colors are capable of thriving at such high altitudes. We wanted to suggest that the Orb of Stars was ancient, so making it CGA in a game that is otherwise an EGA palette seemed like a good way to suggest age. So here we are at the Orb. This appears to be the end of the game, for all intents and purposes. Let's head up here. This is another pretty easy level. It's pretty hard to fall here. One of the things I really love about this game, the only command you have to type to actually complete the game is simply get orb. As you reach out to grasp the Orb of Stars, you hear a booming voice emit from the sphere. You have not yet proven yourself worthy, Stair Child. You must return to where you began your ascent if you wish to claim your prize. So this is the maybe the biggest FU to players at any point in the game. We've made them climb all the way to the top. They've probably faced a lot of frustrations. They're probably angry at how tricky some of these levels have been. And now when they reach their goal, the Orb of Stars tells them you have to go back down. This was basically us doubling the length of our game by making players now descend the same stairs they ascended. When I originally pitched this, I talked about the idea of maybe doing some mirrored levels, some palette swapped levels, some other things to mix it up a little bit. Ultimately, since this was created for a game jam, we ended up just literally, you make the same descent that you made on your ascent. Rather than creating new levels or switching things up in any sort of major way. In the process of doing that, I think, again, just adds a little extra layer of frustration. It's like, I'm going to go down again, and I'm not even going to see anything new on the way. It's just going to be the exact same thing. The bright flash of light, the Orb of Stars disappears. You turn around, breathe a weary sigh, and begin your descent. Orb of Stars bounces, and we start down. As you can see, the score is now only 12 out of 500. I was kind of hoping at this stage maybe players were starting to get a sense of hopelessness, maybe starting to wonder, am I going to have to go down and then come back up and down and back up until I eventually earn 500 points? We'll see that's not the case, but that's certainly what I wanted them to be asking themselves. It says, I'm not worthy. What does it mean? I must prove myself and save the kingdom. In my experience, this trip down is usually a little smoother than on the way up, but we have pretty smoother on the way up. We'll see. The Yeti will appear again, chasing us from the other direction this time. We'll see if we need to Tokyo drift our way through it. This Yeti is kind of terrifying. Again, another pretty lucky run there. I'm having a decent Stair Quest night. This is a fun level to test. There's still some bugs in it, some places where it doesn't quite work. There's some cheats. Ooh, we spelled truly. Wrong. Oh no. A typo. Let's go back down here. Feel the unmistakable essence of magic in the air. Who invented stairs? And they named after their inventor? Nice to meet you. I'm Sir Reginald Stair, and I invented the very stairs you're standing on right now. Would you care for a pastry? The idea being here that our main character, Princess Ingrid, is maybe starting to go a bit bonkers as she's faced with this stair trial. As I have to retrace my steps, I can't help but feel my quest is being unnecessarily extended. It is. Can't type at all today. Cold rain falls diagonally from the sky. I don't know why I liked the gag of saying that it fell diagonally, but it's descriptive. It's correct. Well, if the stairs are a metaphor. Okay. Ooh. Wrong key there. Let's try this again. Okay, not too bad. Like I'm descending into the pits of hell. What does the orb want from me? Wants me to dodge some cats again. Oh well, took it a little too fast. Also, that's not the route. I messed up my own maze. Oh, hey, Papaya Chemist. I see you're over there in the chat. I believe, if I recall from some of your playthroughs, you had some of the best gem cavern runs I've ever seen in a Let's Play. So we have a champion here. Went the wrong way again. You remember? All right, tripped over the unicorn. Okay, let's try this again. I got this. This level isn't that hard. That was suspect. I'm angry at the people who made this game. Okay. Am I descending or is the kingdom rising? Okay, let's get some of that tower action. As I said, this would be really easy if this were a 45-degree angle, but It's not. Whoever made this game thought it would be funnier if that were slightly off. This has actually been a fairly unfrustrating Stair Quest run in the grand scheme of things. They tend to go much worse than this. Corey asks in the chat if this is a speed run. No. This is a can I do it without getting mad and quit run. Yeah, on a laptop this is pretty brutal with no diagonal keys. A lot of these levels, especially the Yeti level, become really difficult. The Yeti level without diagonal keys is a whole new level of challenging. We did it. We forced ourselves to test it without diagonal keys to make sure it could still be completed, but it ramps up the difficulty level pretty quickly. Okay. Okay, we don't have a boulder this time around, so that makes life a little easier. We considered putting in another boulder that would fall at some point and decided it was funnier to have players wonder when the next boulder was going to drop without actually dropping on them. We put a lot of thought into this game for it to be such a dumb game at the end of the day. Does a hero's worth lie in the foes she has vanquished, the lives she has saved, or is it the stairs she's climbed? She's becoming a true believer in the gospel of the orb of stars. Okay, last time around I got this in just a try or two. Bad start. Okay, let's try this again. This isn't the hard part. Okay. See if I can get past this very simple part at the beginning. No. Alright. Gotta get the head in the game. Getting close to the end. I'm feeling the anticipation. Got the jittery fingers. I got this. Let's go slowly. Make you suffer through this. Oh no. The slow motion death fall. Shouldn't even get a chance to hit the ground, so you know it's bad. I'm gonna save scum this. Nah. Okay, let's slow it down again, I guess. Here we go. Maybe after this is over, I'll celebrate with streaming, I don't know, maybe some You Don't Know Jack or something like that. Unwind a little. Getting advice from the chat room to take it one step at a time. I appreciate a good stair pun as much as anyone. Kudos. Okay, that's not bad. First landing. Of course, the hard part lies ahead. I love the sprite for Princess Ingrid. I believe it was Chris Ushko that did this one, if I'm not mistaken. We cheated and used a few more colors, I think, than Sierra would have normally done, but we want someone with a distinct adventuring look. I kind of like the idea of adventuring trousers rather than maybe princess dress. There we go. Sorry, Ingrid. Okay, I thought I didn't save. I was getting ready to have an angry moment. I don't think I've cursed yet at this. As I said, the testing process for this was slow. Why we didn't come up with a debug mode that allowed us to skip from room to room, I have no idea. Like all Let's Players, on the way up, I'm like typing in fun commands. On the way down, all I want to do is finish. No. It would make things easier, wouldn't it? Dance. Why don't you try dancing up the stairs instead, Ginger Rogers? One of the more upsetting messages in the game for attempting to kiss the stairs. I understand dunking. Horrible basketball game. Trying to think of what other. The rest stairs. I have no idea who put that message in there. This was a Gareth joke, I'm almost certain. Let's slowly inch our way down. The parser for this game is really gigantic. We went above and beyond on it. Gosh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there are good commands that we put in here that I don't know if players trying. Hashtag expanding your social media presence will be your next quest. Let's see, what else do we put in here? Play. There's no time to play. The kingdom needs you. What are some other things that we put in here? I think there's some. A general don't say filthy words. Kiss your insert beloved family member here with that mouth. Yeah, I think that's the only one of those I can remember if it rotated through. I'm not going to dignify that with a response other than this response. Kill stairs. Stairs cannot be killed. The stairs are forever. You'll do your best to appreciate this fact. Crawl. A true adventure remains on his or her feet. Hop. That would be a smart move unless you feel like joining the unlucky travelers at the bottom of the pit. Didn't know we had a specific version for this. For this level. Let's see. Open stairs. Try saying the stairs and their secrets will undoubtedly open to you. I know there are so many good ones. I wish I'd printed out a list of the verbs that it accepts before I began doing this tonight, because there are so many that people haven't seen. We actually talked about the idea originally when we were conceptualizing this game of launching it as a web-based game, like some sort of like HTML5 type game that would log all of the parser entries that players made. So if you typed in something the game didn't recognize, it would log it in a text file for us. And then the idea was every week we would come back to it and update the game with content for all of those things that people had submitted that the game didn't recognize at the time, so that the parser would keep growing larger and larger. And quickly started thinking about the logistics of that and went with something a little more manageable. And I can't nail this next step. It would have been fun. I'd like to revisit that idea at some point. But again, we did this for a game jam, and we were kind of lucky to get done what we got done. The team worked like mad, and they worked like mad on an idea that I came up with, and there was every reason to believe it was like the worst idea in the world. I think people enjoyed Stair Quest. I think they got Stair Quest. I think that they understood it was a love letter, um, a love letter to the genre, a love letter to the games of Roberta Williams. That nobody would create a game like this if they didn't love these games and want to have some fun with some of the more frustrating moments in them. Uh, People liked it, but at the time, there was no guarantee. There was a chance nobody would play this. It ended up getting some press, being written about in a few magazines, things like that. It ended up reaching a fair number of players. There's a good chance we might have spent all this time making Stair Quest and be the only people to ever play it. So kudos to the team at No More for Today Productions for taking my crazy idea and really running with it. Because the reality is, well, I came up with the concept and some of the general ideas and everything. I'm not a coder, I'm not an artist, I'm certainly not a musician. The only art asset that I created for this game is this screen, the boss key. That's about the limit of my artistic ability. So without them, this game wouldn't exist. So thanks to everyone. You made my dream that probably should have never existed come true. And we're one level away from, the boss key is supposed to look like an Apple II screen. I was going for VisiCalc. I looked up some old screenshots of the spreadsheet VisiCalc and wanted to get something that looked very Apple II and tried to recreate that as best I could. So close, can't give up. The people of Castle's Woods are counting on me. Again, Castle's Wood. I grew up in a town called Castlewood. This is me sort of, paying tribute to my own childhood when I discovered these games for the first time. Now we're playing the triumphant Stair Quest theme. After a long descent tinged with deja vu, you're relieved to find the Orb of Stars awaiting your arrival. The Kingdom of Salvation is at hand. I'm not sure this final gag quite works out. I wish we had another pass at it in the writing room in terms of this final interaction with the Orb of Stars. You have done well, Stairchild, but your quest is not yet complete. Ingrid just looks at him dead-eyed. You must ascend the stairs once more to prove your worth. Sort of maybe trolling the player one last time. Ingrid still just stares at him blankly. For it is only through traveling by stairs that we find the true character of man. Life, my child, life is a ceaseless quest with its ups and downs. Life is given meaning through stairs. She's still just staring at him. But when you have done this many times, my child, then and only then can you reach out and touch the Orb of Stairs. The joke being, the Orb of Stars was a mistranslation in legend. It was the Orb of Stairs all along. Ingrid, hello, damn it. This is why people don't like me, isn't it? Ingrid has given up her quest. It's not worth doing it again. And here are the credits, all the lovely people who worked on this. Cover design by Andy Couch. Andy Couch is one of my oldest friends in the world. I met him in kindergarten. He and I played Sierra games together growing up. He was kind enough to do the cover design. There's a thank you to the International Society for the Inclusion of Stairs. That breaks down to ISIS, which was a joke I don't know if anyone's ever picked up on. Thank you to Roberta Williams. Ingrid and Devin will return in Stair Quest 2 to Stair as Human. And then we run the credits again. Will there be a Stair Quest 2 someday? I'd like to think so. The whole team has been very busy the last few years and hasn't gotten around to it. I I'd like to revisit it eventually. I love this game. I don't know if we'll manage to spoil it by revisiting, but I think there's some fun to be had with it again. And that, yeah, is Stair Quest. If there is a Stair Quest 2, I think the title will be Ascension, and I haven't talked much about this publicly. But if there's a Stair Quest 2 eventually, my thinking is it's probably going to be a science fiction setting. We've talked about something that would be more futuristic, maybe more inspired by Space Quest than King's Quest, and really switching up the genre a little bit while keeping that core mechanic of climbing stairs in place. We even talked about the possibility of maybe bumping it up to Sierra's SCI engine, SCI 0 instead of AGI. But all of that, yeah, is largely just some concept art and things like that on my hard drive right now. For now, not much work's been done on it, but who knows? Maybe it's a game that will come to exist someday. We should have broken elevators, says Papaya Chemist in the chat. I think it was still that idea. Absolutely. But no, thank you guys for joining me. This is a game that means a lot to me. I really am proud of what we did on Stair Quest. It managed not to be as brutal of a playthrough as I thought it might be. I think I'll shut down there for now. Again, yeah, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you around soon.